Record. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Gundog Outdoors. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous Andy Shaver.
Take care of your four-legged hunting buddy. Make sure they're taken care of, and protect yourself with the field trauma kit.
September is half over.
It's crazy.
Man,
I don't know who is in charge of the time warp that gets going whenever fall finally gets here, but they need to turn it off because summer and spring seems to... February and March are like the longest months ever. And then you go to sleep 2 or 3 times and September's already over.
February, March, and April suck.
I don't mind April because it's turkey season. But February and March are long. And then...
It was real long this year because I didn't have no tornadoes to chase. So it was a very boring spring.
June's kind of a long month. But
Yeah,
after the 4th of July, everything pretty much
goes by pretty quick. With us today, can we talk about where you're from? Or are we allowed to even say that?
Top secret.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we could talk about all of
From
them.
Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, where we lock up some of the nation's biggest assholes.
Mike Vick went there.
Did he?
He did.
He did.
He did.
Our friend Jason Hart. Jason, how are you doing, sir?
Good, guys. How are y'all doing?
Good. How long have you been a waterfowl hunter?
So my rookie season was last year. So this is start of year 2. Teal season started this past Saturday. So yeah, start of year 2.
What made you get into waterfowl hunting at this age of your life?
So I'm 44 years old. I've got married 19 years, got 4 kids. I got one son who's 13, daughter 12, and then the other 2 daughters are 7 and 4. Well, 2 years ago, I was deployed to the Middle East, and my son, we were talking one night, and he was home, and he said, "Hey, Dad, I went duck hunting." And I was like, "What do you mean you went duck hunting? Like, we don't duck hunt." And he said, "Well, I took your shotgun. I had a Remington 1187. He goes, I bought some shells from Academy and I went duck hunting." And now I say that and I can feel Lee Chose and Brandon Sorecki kind of side-eyeing me from wherever they are because, you know, there was no patterning. He just found the cheapest steel shells and went out and tried to shoot some ducks. And he passed shot at a couple ducks and obviously did not hit anything, but he fell in love with it. And it was really more, I think, the social aspect of it. So he said, "Hey, Dad, I want to start duck hunting." And I was like, "Oh my God, like, here goes Heather talking about how much money we're spending and, you know, so on and so forth." So that's how we got started. I knew we were coming to Kansas at our next assignment from Georgia. And I said, all right, if we're going to start duck hunting, that's probably the place we're going to go at. So that's how we started duck hunting, really.
Kansas is, I can think of worse places to be if you want to start duck hunting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Probably, you know, California, just because you got to put up with their policies, Nevada, Utah, you know, those desert environments. But yeah, there's a lot of waterfowl here. Now, we were not super successful, you know, a lot of learning, definitely went through some hard times, but we're back at it this year. And, you know, we had a good start at teal season. So that's good.
How'd y'all do?
Started off with 4 birds. He ended up killing a triple with one shot. I had one, water swatted it next to a coot decoy. Had another one up in the weeds, but I never saw it. And then I did the classic, oh, hey, here comes a big wad, and shot at the wad and missed everything. So
isn't that funny how that happens? Like you've got BBs that just spread out over the landscape, and then a small wad of teal somehow can avoid every single one of those.
Yeah. We bought a couple boxes of the Boss 7s this year, that Stinger load. And man, that's between the doves and the teal, yeah, those are absolute hammers. Yeah. So
when you make contact, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, he killed 3 with one shot using that 1 ounce load. And there was 4 in the wad, and he missed the lead one and killed all three on the backside. So it was good. And they were all stone dead.
Sounds about like my shooting.
That was great.
So, aim here and 3 birds behind it die.
So your wife was not a fan of y'all spending money on the hunting stuff, but have you noticed that women can spend money with their daughters and stuff, and they completely. I never had a daughter, but we have a granddaughter. But I can't. But I know how wives are and how they do that, and it's just they don't even see that part of the equation. But hunting is all about expenses.
So Heather's sister's getting married here in a couple of weeks, back down in Augusta, Georgia. And so trying to buy dresses for that, I have seen more packages from Macy's, Amazon. They went to Dillard's shopping, and I'm just like, how many dresses do we need? She's trying to outfit, herself and 3 girls. And then of course you got to do the shoes and the accessories, and you're just like, geez, you complain about a $300 shotgun shell order, and like, there's $500 of dresses right there. So,
Did you?
It's a give and take. It's a give and take.
Do you have to just shake your head and say that looks nice?
I just, hey, whatever you want to do. I do not argue about money with her, because usually I end up losing. So I just kind of accept it and say, yep, that looks good, dear. Whatever you want to do.
Michelle's a shopaholic, bad shopaholic, and she will wear something, and I've never seen it before, and I'll be like, when'd you get that? I've had this for a long time. You're full of shit. I know you do. Yeah. I've seen what you wear every day, so that you are full of crap. That is not something you've had for 2 years in the closet.
Right. Well, like last year, getting a new shotgun. I ended up buying a used Benelli Super Black Eagle, found it down in Cabela's. And she's like, what'd you spend $200 on at Cabela's? And I'm like, oh, no, just some decoys and stuff. And she's like, no. What'd you buy? And I said, well, I ended up getting a new shotgun. You spent $200 on a shotgun. I didn't want to tell her, like, hey, truthfully, it was $900. I talked the guy down to $700, and $200 was all I didn't have cash on to, like, that I had swirled away to buy this. So, like, hey, whatever, I'll take the lumps. But
you do realize she's probably gonna listen to this.
Yeah, absolutely. No, she's gonna listen to it. Right. So my son, he's in school right now, and I monitor which podcast of y'all's he kind of pulls up.
I don't blame you for that.
So,
yeah.
So
that's good parenting.
So he's like, Dad, can you pull me out of school so I can sit in on this? And I'm like, no, like, you need to go to school. You have a football game later this afternoon, and if I pull you out, you're not going to play. So he's like, yeah, but you're talking to Jeff and Andy. Like, why can't I do this? And I'm like, just go to school. You can listen to it later. So.
You're being a good dad.
Yeah.
I don't understand, and my life is different than everybody else's because we do a lot of cash here. So I do a lot of shit. Michelle has no clue how much money we have or don't have. None. And she's probably going to listen to this, and she's clueless about money anyways.
Yeah, she's the least of the worries that you have at listening to this.
What do you mean?
You just open a whole can of worms there.
What did I say?
Jeff, Big Brother is watching us.
I don't give 2 shits about the federal government.
I don't. He does, federal government. He does.
No, I don't.
He does.
87,000 ISR agents are now looking at Jeff.
And they've all got weapons. They're all armed and well-trained, and thanks a lot,
right.
Jeff. That's just what we need.
Well, I hope they send the little fucker up here that's in the wheelchair. Did you see that guy at the training?
I did.
Yeah, that's all. I think I can outrun him on a regular, and I can't run very fast anymore. I'm not worried about that shit because
you just push him over?
If they put, that's what I'd do. 87,000 IRS agents are going to go after Middle America. Every person that owns a small business in this country could go to prison probably because every one of us does something that's not right.
No, we do everything that's by the book. Thank you very much.
Okay.
IRS.
But what I was going to get at is I don't understand men who do not have separate money from their wives. Because I know my wife does. Because but she uses a card anyway, my card, so I have to pay it off every month. But I don't understand men that don't ever have cash hidden from their wives. I just don't get it.
There should be a happy medium, though.
Of what?
Like, do you think that you should be able to go out and purchase $2,000 shotgun?
If you want to and you make money, yeah. If it's going to keep your kid from eating mashed potatoes at night, no. But if your kids are eating and you have your bills paid and stuff, what's it hurt?
So if they eat mashed potatoes, we're good.
Yeah. So Andy, now hold on, Jason. Let me tell you on Andy before. Andy has told me before, hey, just put that money in the safe. Just keep it separate from me, please.
I've never said that.
Never, huh?
No.
Now you're not worried about the federal government. Now you're worried about Jesse.
Everybody's going to be coming at us now. We got my wife, your wife, the federal government. It is not going to be pretty here. When we just go radio silent, you'll know what happened.
Yeah. So I kind of, when I was in Germany, when we were stationed in Germany, I'd kind of made a separate account. Heather kind of didn't know about it because I truthfully got tired of well, what'd you buy? And it'd be like a birthday present, an anniversary present. Right. And, so I would take money aside, like, if we spent money on a Coke and I used a $5 and whatever cash I would get back, I would just put that in my pocket and put it in the bank. And so I still do that to some occasion. It keeps down on the fights. Now, if I want to tell her, like, hey, I'm looking to buy this, I'm going to take $200 out of every paycheck and I'm going to kind of save up for it. We're adults enough now. I mean, we've been married 19 years that we'll kind of have those discussions and we'll make it work. Now, there are those that I'm like, hey, this is an impulse buy and I'm going to completely do it. And I'm just going to take whatever ass chewing I get on the backside. And, that's, if you're not doing that when you're married, then you probably haven't been married long enough. So,
see, we've got neither one of us really buy anything though, but it's weird because she would never stop me from buying something and I would never stop her from buying something, but neither one of us have this big spending habit. So it works well. I would
agree 157% on what you just said.
What?
Y'all neither one buy shit.
No.
I would agree. But
like
Andy
I said,
will take it if I buy it, but he ain't buying the shit.
No. But like if she wanted some expensive purse or something, I'd never tell her no. And if I wanted a brand new shotgun of some sort, she would never tell me no. But we just, I don't know, live well below our means, I guess.
Y'all, if the world was ran, Jesse should be the accountant for the United States. I'm telling you right now, we wouldn't have to give Ukraine.
It'd be a very boring United States.
$300 billion because we could just write them a check for $900 billion if she was in charge because we'd have the extra money. Jesse is very, very, very good with money.
But I've never really spent. Even when I've never really had Zach, your middle one. He spends.
Yeah,
he did when he was a kid. I don't know what his spending habits are now, but he was all about the flash, all about that wham, that walking around
money. He used to call it
all about that walking around money.
Yeah, I'll buy expensive things. If I'm going to buy something, it's going to be quality.
Yeah.
Because I'm a buy once, cry once type of guy.
Exactly.
But the biggest things we ever spend money on, and we'll save up for it, but we like traveling.
Okay.
So, we'll set that money aside and just like, all right, hey, we're going to go on this trip and we'll try to set the money aside. Christmas, we start buying Christmas early. So we kind of start doing that now and so we're just not spending $10,000 right there at Christmas time. So
I wish we could take Christmas off. I'm telling you right now, me and Michelle spend most of we spend a lot of money traveling. That's our thing. We like to do that, and I'm going to continue to do that. I love to travel. But man, if we could take Christmas off, we could go to Tahiti every year if we just took Christmas off. That is the biggest waste of money. I am a Scrooge when it comes to things. I can't do it. First of all, if it was up to me, we would. But
my kids don't need any more shit.
I just spent a bunch of money on your kids for his birthday.
He doesn't need it.
Well, he wants it, and it makes me happy to see my grandkids smile. Yeah. But I would, and this is what's kind of a bullcrap deal that we get caught on. I don't mind buying my grandkids anything that they need or want, basically. Not just need, because they don't need anything. What they want, I try to make them happy. I grew up as a kid without a lot of money, and so there was a lot of things I wanted that my rich friends had when I got older. When I went to elementary, I went to school with a bunch of poor kids, so we didn't know that other kids had new shit like electricity and refrigerators and shit. So that was all new to us. But anyways, I want my grandkids to have stuff, so I buy them stuff. But by God, my youngest son has got this deal now. Payne's in the military. He makes really good money for what he does, really good money. But he said, I've got a 401k. He's got a retirement, blah, 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 blah. So he spends what he makes, everything he makes. If he makes $3,500 a month bring home, he's going to spend $30,498 that month. But his deal is now is that he told Michelle some stuff he wanted for Christmas. I'm like, you're 22 fucking years old. What do you need for Christmas? He goes, y'all don't spend money on me on nothing. He goes, if you look at the three boys, you spend a lot more money on Andy and Zach than you do me because of the grandkids. He goes, it's only fair that I get an equal portion. What kind of fucked up world is that shit? Where is there a portion at anyways? So I think
So
Christmas.
he's counting my kids as me.
Yes,
and Jesse.
yes. Anything I spend on your boys, he thinks is his or
comes
Zach's girls.
comes out of my my portion.
Yeah,
apparently.
he figured up Christmas the other day. He said, "Y'all going to spend $1,500 apiece on the grandkids." He goes, "That's ought to be $3,000 more for me
per family."
Where do you get this fucking math at?
Per family.
That's that baby child mentality. You know,
he's one of your guys. He's one of y'all. He's a military guy. Is your mom your mom cutting you a check for Christmas? No.
Maybe should have raised him a little bit better, more conservative, not so liberal, Jeff. I mean, I'm gonna throw that one back on you now.
He's got a lot of Democrat in him. I'm telling you, when it comes to my money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and also you got to look at where he's stationed. I mean, he's up there at Fort Lewis, Washington. That's kind of some crazy land up there.
Oh, a lot of liberal bullshit. But anyways, that's his outtake on Christmas. So I figured what we do for Christmas time is we buy the grandkids. This is what I'd like to do.
Buy them one present.
I'd like to spend. No, we spend $500 apiece on grandkids and buy nobody else, nothing else. Okay. I would save so much freaking money and be happy.
Well, now I'm not going to get a gift.
See,
how am I getting punished?
This is what we come into right now.
Why am I getting punished here?
You just said that's what you should do.
I said cut back from the grandkids, not cut back from my small allotment.
Small allotment's ass. But anyways, so you got 4 kids. It never ends, Jason. I'm telling you, the older they get, it just compounds. It's like compound interest. I'm telling you, it just goes and goes and goes.
I see it at Christmas time whenever we're home with Heather's mom and stepdad. When everyone is in one location, there's 23 of them. You know, Heather is the oldest of 4, and then there are 13. No, now there's 14 grandkids. Sorry, they just have 1. So Christmas is insane. And we've had to rent U-Haul trailers to attach to a back of a Suburban to get crap home because we have that much stuff. We did it this past Christmas.
Jeez.
From Charleston, South Carolina, back here to Fort Leavenworth. You know, we had that much stuff where we had to rent the 10-foot U-Haul trailer, and we're dragging it 19 hours back here.
I would have never seen a U-Haul going down the road behind a Suburban and thought, that son bitch is full of Christmas presents.
He got Christmas present there.
I bet that poor bastard's moving him drive halfway across the country.
Having to move at Christmas. That's poor fella. But now if you see it at Christmas time, you know what it is.
Did you say you have 3 daughters?
Yeah, I have 3 daughters, 12, 7, and 4.
You need to.
4-year-old, she's a little spitfire. She keeps us on our toes. She was definitely not planned at 40 years old. So,
dude, you better buy stock in Procter and Gamble. You're gonna be buying a lot of tampons in your life. Oof.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's the 3 of them will pretty much be either leaving teenagers or all be teenagers kind of at the same time. So yeah, it's gonna be. That whole puberty time is just going to be miserable.
I tell you what, when Payne left the house, we had an empty nest. I'm not going to lie. I walked through the house and I'd cry a lot at nighttime. I'm not just like boo-hoo-hooing, but I'd walk by and I'd see a picture of the boys at little, and I'd get teary-eyed and it'd upset me a lot. But I'm telling you, after about 6 weeks, you don't cry no more. Then when they come home, you cry when you're ready. Goddamn ready for them to leave and go back home again now. But it's a tough time when they all leave the house because, man, you've got so many blessings in your life and all the noise and confusion and mass just hysteria that you deal with every day. You're going to miss that one day. You're going to be in that house. It's going to be awful quiet and it ain't going to change. There ain't nobody coming home. And that sure does get sad for you. You're laughing, Andy, because
we start thinking about it some, but it's like, I think what I won't miss is all the traveling.
Yeah.
Like we got to get this kid to this event. Now this kid's got this event at the same time. Like today, Heather is taking Deacon's football game, which is down in Kansas City. I'm taking Kennedy's volleyball game with the 2 little girls because they're both at the same time. And then, you just conquer and divide as best as you can. Yeah. Ultimately, it's not man-to-man anymore. It's kind of like a zone defense, if you will.
Yeah, somebody told me when your kids outnumber you, you are no longer a parent. You're just a bouncer. That's all you are at that point.
Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes you're just like, what got into you all? When did I get feral hogs in this house? Because y'all are just screaming and carrying on. And then when they bring their friends in there, you're like, what? Like, it's just... you just manage the chaos as best as you can and try to it's herding cats is really what it is. You're just trying to oh, hey, stay over here a little bit. Right. Oh no, crap. You just moved over here and yacked on the floor over here.
And I have noticed I've got really good kids when they're not around other kids because your kids will become the lowest common denominator. If you've got a turd in the punch bowl, and like we were out, I won't say where we were because it's a small community, and but we were out and my kids were hanging out with some other kids and they just became shitheads. And I was like, what in the fuck has gotten into you, boy? And I knew what it was. It was his ratchet friends that were just bringing him down.
You're blaming your kids being an ass on other kids
they
being
go
an
down
ass?
to the lowest common denominator. If you've got a turd, your kid's going to be a turd. And on the other hand, you need somebody to raise them up.
Well, maybe Reese should raise those other kids
He
up.
should, but he's not doing he's not being a good leader.
All right,
he's not being a good leader. When we get to football, I'll tell him all about that.
Let's do football now. Here we go. All right.
Oh,
the guest went 11-7 last week.
that was Shanahan.
Andy went 10-7.
That was me.
You're beneath Shanahan. Jeff went
but you ended up winning though, Jeff, right?
13-5, and we're not giving away any swag this week.
Will this be the week?
So will this be the week that someone wins $100 in swag?
It might be.
Okay, so Big Honker podcast group, I'm sorry to say you're probably not getting swag again this week. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say that Jeff's gonna save $100 bill, more than likely. So we'll see if I can. I'm at least beat Andy. So
Yeah, well, you got a good shot at that.
Well,
My picks are terrible.
Shanahan did that, so it's not like it's something to write home about. Here we go. San Diego.
Who's going first here?
Are
you
since I lead, I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay. This week, Thursday night football coming on tonight. San Diego at Kansas City.
Also known as Los Angeles at Kansas City.
Okay, the Bolts.
The
Bolts versus the Chiefs, while we can still call them the Chief before we have to change their name to something else. I am going to take the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm taking the Los Angeles Chargers.
I also am going to take the Los Angeles Chargers. It's going to be a shootout, but I think the defense is going to do one stop on Kansas City. You're probably looking like a 40 style game.
I hope that it is 49-45. I mean, I really
You
do.
got a lot of fantasy players in that game?
No. I just
excitement.
I thought last Thursday was going to be that way, and it was kind of a dud. But I mean, Buffalo just kind of trounced them. So hopefully this week will be, like you said, 49-45 and a good game.
Yeah, I got Travis Kelce on my fantasy team, so hope for another 8 catches, 100 yards, and touchdown. Get that 15 points or so.
I do have Justin Herbert, so I got some stake in the game.
I got Austin Eckler. I forgot about that tonight. Okay, here we go. The New York Jets at the Cleveland Brownies. I am going to take Cleveland because of their defense. Jacoby Brissett going to be 2-0 probably.
Cleveland
defense is going to win that game for them.
Okay, Miami at Baltimore. I'm taking Miami, and this is my upset.
Woo.
Baltimore.
Tell you, Tua
Tagovailoa.
Yeah, him. Tui. Double T's. He's gonna kill.
He's the one. Huh?
Baltimore. Baltimore's good defensively. I just not sold on Baltimore still because I'm just not a Lamar Jackson fan.
That's great.
And he's a great fantasy quarterback. Okay, the Redskins, or excuse me, I can't say that then.
Commanders.
The Native Americans versus
the Washington football team.
Yeah, I like that name better than the fucking Commanders.
Yeah.
I mean, bunch of dick slaps up in Washington anyways. DC at Detroit. Boy, Detroit really has got an improved football team. They gave Philadelphia a good game. I don't think Philadelphia is as good as I'm going to go against my heart, and I'm going to take Detroit.
Detroit.
I'm going to break from y'all. I'm going to go Washington.
The Commanders.
Hail to the Chief. Indianapolis at Jacksonville. Oof, boy, that was Indy's ugly last week. I'm going to take Indy, though.
Indy.
Okay, so Indy always going to Jacksonville. Past 7 years hasn't won. I'm going to go with Jacksonville, and this is going to be my upset.
I like it.
Okay, New England at Pittsburgh. And New England is favorite at Pittsburgh. I have no idea what people in Vegas are thinking. I don't know is Mac Jones even playing?
Yes.
Did you see your brother cut him in football?
Yeah, he's playing. TJ Watt is out.
Yeah, I'm still going to take Pittsburgh, though.
Fuck, but you said New England's favored?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Pittsburgh. That'll be my upset. I mean,
well, that's good. That's a good upset. But I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh.
On paper.
Carolina at the Giants. Are the Giants going to be 2-0?
Carolina at the Giants?
Yep, I'm taking New York.
I'm taking Carolina.
Carolina.
Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Tampa Bay is favored. I mean, New Orleans is favored. No, Tampa Bay is favored. I'm sorry. I am taking New Orleans at home.
Tampa Bay. TB12.
It's going to be close, but Brady and the defense from Tampa Bay just looked, I think, better, and so I'm gonna go Tampa Bay.
I agree. And if they take away the deep threat, which is what Jameis is more about, I think you stop New Orleans.
Let me.
Yeah, Jameis didn't. I mean, you look last week; he didn't really use Kamara to his full potential.
Kamara's
Kamara's now running back instead of.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to get him one-on-one against a corner or a linebacker, and he's going to make that guy miss, and he's got 5-7 yards each time. So.
He's got a bad rib, but I'm going to tell you another bold prediction of mine, and this is way out there. Tom Brady doesn't finish the season this year, I don't think, for personal reasons.
Give me a break.
He's missed practice again this week.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he gets a Veterans Day, just like
a Veterans Day. I think it's. I'm wanting Giselle to come back home day.
No,
I'm telling you, the guy's personal life is wrecked right now.
I'm not saying it's not, but he is not. He has zero quit.
So you know how you guys have been talking about Giselle probably not happy that Tom. So I saw an article this past week. I cannot remember where it was, but she had mentioned she was not happy that Tom was coming back to football, and she was pretty upset.
Of course
so
not.
I think Jeff's on to something.
Of course not. She said in an interview that she is ready for her time. She is ready to do what she wants to do. She is ready to not have to raise Tom's illegitimate child and their 2 children.
His illegitimate child's got to be 38 now.
I think he's 15 is all.
That's it?
Yeah, I think I read 15, 12, and 8, I want to say are his kids.
I'm telling you, the big D's coming down the road there.
Jeff, don't wish.
They're going to get a divorce. You watch. And people go crazy.
Day.
People go crazy when they're divorced. I'm telling you, the guy has got a ton of shit going on.
Can you imagine if they get a divorce? Can you imagine how long he'll actually play? That motherfucker might play till he's 60 if he gets a divorce and doesn't have anything to come home to.
Or he might get him a Mike Tyson face tattoo, and who knows? I'm telling you, though, the guy is something upstairs. People go through that shit and they change. For 20-something years, he's had the same schedule, basically, since he's been with her. And she's given in to everything. He's got some issues right now, and I have a feeling that he's going to walk away before it's all done.
15, 12, and 9 are his
He's already
kids.
starting to miss practice during the week, which he doesn't need a lot of practice. I'll give you that. But I have a feeling that he's going to have some personal issues that all of a sudden it's going to be breaking news. Tom Brady's taking a leave of absence from the football for a little bit. I said it first. When it breaks here.
But what if they do give him 2 weeks off? What if they've got you're going to win the division easily in the South.
I don't know about that.
You're going to win the division easily in the South. So what if they've got a 4-game lead and he takes 2 games off in the middle of the season?
Then they would have a 2-game lead. I don't think New Orleans is that bad. Michael Thomas is coming back, looks great. Kamara's going to get healthy again. New Orleans has a good defense. I have a feeling he's going to take some time off, and you can't do that in NFL. It just don't work. But I think this is the beginning of the end.
So here's 2 games in the middle. You got the Seahawks and the Browns. What if he were to take those 2 games off?
And they go 0-2. How does that do?
You're not going to go 0-2 to the Seahawks and the Browns. They got a good team.
You're going to go one-on-one with that. You'll probably lose to the Browns because of the defense. But you're going to beat the Seahawks easily.
I think y'all are thinking that this is Tampa Bay from 2 years ago. Remember, Tampa Bay got knocked out of the playoffs in the first round. Yeah, they're not the same football team they were 2 years ago.
Hold on. He brought them back. It was the defense is the only reason that they weren't playing for another Super Bowl. The defense gave up a long bomb to Cooper Kupp to end the game. He came back and scored. He lit it up in the second half.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
He went to the bench, put his head down, and everyone knew it was over.
Like this, he's coming. He's coming for blood.
Okay. We'll just see what happens. But I don't think Tampa Bay's a lock to win that division.
I did just read a report that they are living in separate houses. Somebody shared that in our podcast group.
That usually is not a sign of a happy home.
Oh, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, we will see, but that's why I think that Tampa Bay, I see some problems. I'm taking New Orleans in an upset this week, but it's not my upset, but I'm taking them. All right. Seattle at San Francisco. And this is going to be my lock.
It's according to ABC, KOCO, ABC News. They are reportedly living in separate houses. So
right.
we'll see.
I took San Francisco.
Who? What's the game?
Seattle at San Francisco.
San Fran.
And that's
San Fran.
That's my lock. Okay. Atlanta at the Rams.
Rams. That's my lock.
Jeff, who'd you pick?
The Rams.
Yeah, I'm Rams. Atlanta's just not.
They're Atlanta.
Not that.
They don't use Kyle Pitts enough. And that's not coming from a fantasy owner of Kyle Pitts.
No, that you draft him, you don't. Arizona at Las Vegas. I'm taking Las Vegas over the gremlin guy.
Vegas. My Raiders.
Vegas, Hunter Renfro, Clemson, 2 touchdowns.
I hope he does. I need him to.
He sure did fuck them over on that Uber ride.
What happened?
He ordered an Uber. They were going somewhere. I think it might have been the Hall of Fame game, and they step off, and it's like a Kia Soul or whatever. It was Devontae Adams, Derek Carr, Hunter Renfro, and I think maybe even one more. And they were like, Hunter Renfro is not ordering the Uber from the airport anymore.
Type bastard.
I guess so.
He didn't get the Uber XL.
No, he did not. He got Uber Electric probably. Uber Green.
That looked like us going to the airport to go to Seattle. Mm-hmm. I ordered Uber for us. I ordered a extended Suburban black, nice deal, and Andy orders a freaking minivan with fucking tape on the windows from garbage bags.
Who got there first, Jeff?
Well, our guy got lost.
Who got to the destination first?
But we were comfortable. Okay.
I wasn't uncomfortable.
Houston.
I was real comfortable when I got to my car 30 minutes before you got to yours.
Houston at Denver.
Denver.
Yep, Denver.
Denver.
Cincinnati favored on the road at Dallas. I'm taking Cincy.
Cincy, and that's my lock.
That's a good one.
I hope you're right.
It should be.
My deal about picking Dallas every week, hoping they'll get beat, is over because now I really do think they're going to get beat a bunch.
They said they're 32 out of 32 on the power rankings now.
Oh, they look bad. Green Bay at Chicago.
No, they're at home.
Who's home?
Green Bay.
Chicago's at Green Bay.
Sunday Night Football.
No,
Think they do that at Soldier Field? No.
Yeah, no shit. I wouldn't do shit at nighttime there.
Too dangerous.
Fuck yeah. Even old Beetlejuice, she don't get out after dark. I'm taking Green Bay.
Green Bay in a big win. Have I already done my lock?
I've
already done my lock.
Yes. You got Green Bay too?
Owns the Chicago.
He does. He's part owner of the Chicago Bears.
Okay, another great football game, or should have been a great football game before the season started, was Tennessee at Buffalo. I'm taking Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Oh,
I feel Tennessee
Buffalo.
coming. Oh, you wanted to do Tennessee, though.
I did want to do Tennessee. I think Derrick Henry's going to kind of rebound a little bit, but Von Miller, that Buffalo defense looked real good against the Rams, and Josh Allen's he's got too many weapons, I think.
You know, if you did not know Von Miller and you didn't know Derrick Henry and you didn't know shit about football and you lined one of them up at defensive end, the other one at running back, you wouldn't know which one was which.
No.
Derrick Henry's way
Derrick
bigger.
Henry.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, but you wouldn't be surprised if Von Miller was the running back and Derrick Henry was the defensive player. He is such a massive dude. He did get put on his ass in that game the other day, though. Uh-oh. Is that a tank?
Sorry, like mowing our front yard. I don't know if you guys are picking that up. Sorry.
We just heard a little bit. We're good.
You don't mow your own yard?
So I mow. So contracted for the front yard. I have a fence, so I have to mow inside my fence. But yeah, they privatized housing, so they pick up the bill on the mowers.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I don't mow my yard. So Andy does mow his, though, because he's too tight to pay somebody to mow it.
I like mowing my yard.
Matter of fact, last time you had your yard mowed by someone else, I paid for it. You owe me that. I just remembered that. Okay.
Take it out of my Christmas. Take it out of my Christmas kitty.
You have no Christmas kitty no more. That kitty's gone. Okay. The last game, and probably the hardest one to pick of all, is the Monday night game. Actually, there's 2 Monday night games. Tennessee and Buffalo's a Monday night game. Minnesota at Philadelphia. I am taking Minnesota.
I'm also taking Minnesota.
Hurts me to say Minnesota on the road. Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. They're gonna do it. So.
Yeah.
They look very dangerous. They look like they may be the only team that can give Buffalo a game after week 1, and it will change.
I pissed away $100 in my bet with Shanahan.
Would you bet?
$100 at Green Bay.
Green Bay wins the division.
Yeah. He took Minnesota. If they play 16 more games like they did week 1, they might be playing for the Lombardi. I mean, they look fucking good.
But Kirk Cousins is their quarterback, and I have about as much faith in him as I do Dak Prescott and Lamar Jackson when it comes to winning the big game. But they do look really, really good right now, and they've got all the tools, and they've got a good defense.
Yeah, I mean.
That's the thing. If Kirk Cousins keeps playing the way he has, and I mean, Jeff, you're right. It's going to be hard to say that he can do that. But, go back to a couple years ago when they were in the playoffs. Kirk Cousins was a good player, and you got a Jefferson, Thiessen. The defense on Minnesota just looks real good this year. So I truthfully think they might win the North this year.
They look. And
that hurts me to say.
They look really, really, really good right now.
I'd say if you take out Tampa Bay, they're definitely the favorite in the NFC.
See, I don't even think Tampa Bay's the top 3 in the NFC.
So who would you give it to? Minnesota's definitely up there.
It would be Minnesota.
1. You're already giving it to them?
Minnesota right now. If I was ranking the NFC teams, I would rank Minnesota 1.
Okay.
I would rank San Francisco 2, even though they got beat in Chicago in the rain, because I think what's his name's going to be out before long.
Who?
Lance or Trey Lance. I don't.
No.
You think?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna rank mine. Then you rank yours. I'm doing Minnesota, San Francisco. I'm gonna go with Green Bay 3, and then somebody else 4. And I don't know who it is, but those are the 3 best teams now. Because I think Green Bay's gonna be just like they were last year. Those rookie receivers are gonna start catching the ball. They're gonna be fine. There's no timing with them. The veterans don't work at all. I think San Francisco's got so much talent. I think San Francisco against Chicago was about like Green Bay was against San Francisco in the playoffs. The weather played more of a role in it, and it hindered the better team. San Francisco would beat Chicago's lips off on a dry football field, I think.
Based off of week 1 and week 1 alone, I'm not looking at anything else, just week 1. Tampa Bay and Minnesota are up there, and I don't even know if there is a third team. Like, it's wide ass open.
The Rams, I think, is big trouble with Stafford.
The Rams could turn it around. The Packers could obviously turn it around. San Francisco, I did not think that they look like world beaters. It was a hurricane, or monsoon. We'll see. Week 2 will tell.
I think my top 3 right now, NFC, Minnesota 1, San Fran is going to be up there, and then, truthfully, Tampa Bay. But you got Philly that's going to have a good chance.
Philly,
they look good. And this week will be the one that tells with the Packers. If, Watkins and the rest of the Green Bay receivers don't do anything, it's going to be a long season. You're probably looking at 9-8.
Yeah. And they didn't have Lazard, so I will give them that. Lazard's, the one receiver that they did that he does have a little bit of chemistry with. He didn't have.
When Lazard is the key to your football team,
he's at least got chemistry with him.
I agree with that.
I mean, he's going to throw the ball where he trusts the guy, just like Tunyon. And I'm if Lazard continues to miss time, I wouldn't be shocked if Tunyon comes and has a good year.
I'm just not sold on Tampa Bay, first of all, because they played a horrible Dallas team and it was an ugly game. And Chris Godwin's out now for 3 to 4, 6 weeks again. I think that's really going to hurt him.
He's going to come right. They said he'll be right back.
Okay,
not that bad. Not that big of a deal.
Anyways, Arizona's not any good. At Stafford, if his elbow is okay, they're going to be really, really good and hard to beat. But I think he's got more problems. Well, what's amazing about more than anything from anything else in football that shocks me is how does a kid with decent speed, not world beater speed, get open all the time and nobody can fucking keep Cooper Kupp from catching the ball?
I don't know.
Absolutely amazing that the guy.
He's coming.
And they can't. What, he catch 12 balls the other day?
I don't know.
They couldn't stop him. You can put 3 guys on him and he gets open. And I don't think he's a 4.4 kid, is he?
He was 13 for 15, 128 yards and a tud.
Who was?
Cooper Kupp.
13 catches
on 15 targets.
What's his speed? Is he a 4.5 kid? He's not a 4.4 guy. I
think he's like 4.5, 4.6.
Yeah.
He's not fast, but he, it's like that Bill Belichick recipe. Hey, I'm gonna take the small white guy in the slot, and Tom Brady's gonna be world famous because of that guy. Now you're just doing the same thing with Sean McVay. He's doing it with Matt Stafford, and that's what we're going with. It's amazing to watch the guy because he's not the over the top deep ball, which they thought Alvin Robinson would probably be, but he did shit in Chicago last year. He's going to do crap in LA this year. But Cooper Kupp's going to be that key. And if Cam Akers doesn't do anything, I don't know. The Rams are going to make the playoffs. So.
4.62 40 is what he ran.
His shuttle score must be absolutely crazy because he's got quick feet, but he just gets open the freaking time. Wes Welker used to do that, but just
Hunter Renfrow, and that's Hunter Renfrow does it. Hunter Renfrow is not a fast guy, but he runs those routes so perfectly that it throws the DB off, and if he puts a finger on it, he's catching it. So that's your Cooper Kupp now. It's an older Hunter Renfrow style player.
I'm a big Hunter Renfrow fan. I own him in a couple fantasy leagues. And I said before the season started, and Andy made fun of me, I said, if I can get 2 stud running backs and I could get a good quarterback, if I can get Hunter Renfrow and Jalen Waddle as my 2 starting wide receivers, I could win leagues because those guys are going to get a ton of catches. Now, Hunter Renfrow in the first game, I don't think he done much, did he?
He didn't do anything.
Jalen Waddle had a good game.
No. I think it was Welker more for the Rams or for the Raiders that game, more so than Hunter Renfrow.
But Jalen Waddle had a hell of a game still. But those 2 guys both can catch the ball and they get open. And Jalen Waddle's got, it's amazing to think that Alabama's receiving core they had with the kid at Vegas who had the accident and killed that girl. What a team! What a deal!
Your phone.
Yeah, and every year that's Alabama. Like in a nutshell, I don't know. This year's going to be interesting after watching that Texas. We'll see if they have, Saban said last year, it's a rebuilding year. I don't know how it's a rebuilding year when you go to the national championship every year.
That was a fun game to watch.
Actually I did not, I sucked this past weekend. I didn't watch a lot of college football.
Mm-hmm.
And like just family events, the way we were going. But everyone kept texting, man, are you watching this Alabama and Texas game? And I was like, no. And then I thought it was either safety or intentional ground. I didn't see roughing the passer.
No.
We're coddling quarterbacks way too much nowadays. Like you put a finger on him, it's going to be roughing the passer. And
I don't think
it wasn't.
I don't think they were coddling the quarterback. I think they were coddling Alabama. Worst called game I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've seen a lot of football games.
It's bad when Nick Saban's complaining about the refs.
Well, he should have been
everybody
happy.
else complains about the refs every other Alabama game, but for Nick Saban to step up and say, and these refs are horrible, Nick, are you watching any other of your games?
They won the game because of officiating. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Well, it's the 2 points.
Well, not just the 2 points deal, but the kid face mask right in the middle of fucking everybody. Ray Charles could have seen that son of a bitch from the 15th row. Face masked him. Texas would have had the ball 1st and goal on the 2-yard line. They would have scored a touchdown there because they was running the ball. They could run the ball. That would have made it 20 to 10. That was the ball game right there. That was the deal. Texas had their chance to win, so they had their chances to. They should have won the game anyways. But the officiating was absolutely atrocious. And then the play where the guy missed the sack on the quarterback, the fucking left tackle's got the guy fucking molesting him and raping him right there on the line, right in front of everybody. And that should have been 15 yards back from there, and that probably would have sealed the game. But they had their chance to win. It's on them, nobody else.
If that kid comes up with the sack at the very end,
they win the game there too.
So I mean,
but on that play, there was a hole.
So many what ifs in that game. I mean, you look at had Texas starting quarterback stayed in the game.
He's a lot of fun to watch.
That's the big one. The officiating, the missed sack, the missed face mask call. There's so many things that could have led to it. But that's football. Stuff's going to happen, and we're all going to, we're going to sit here on the Monday after, and we're going to bitch and complain about it. And but that's what makes the sport so great. It either unites us or divides us in such a way that we're gonna just continue to talk crap about it, and we're gonna do it all the time.
Yep. This week it'll be something else. But after all the bullshit, the bad calls, the injury to Quinn Ewers, everything, Texas still had a chance to win the game, and they didn't win the game. They didn't finish. And the better team finished the game. And if they play 10 times, Alabama's going to win 8 of them. But Texas really did look good, and they played well, and they have improved over the years. So I'm happy for that. But anybody that goes into a game and says, if we can just play coast, it'll be a good thing. That don't fly with me. You should, if you don't think you can win, you shouldn't be fucking playing. And
right. And the spread was what, 20, 21?
22 at one time.
22, I think.
Yeah, and you come down to a 2-point game. Ultimately, watching like that was just it was a good game. The fans in Royal Stadium, they saw a great game, whether they were for Alabama or for Texas.
The number one streamed football game in the history of Fox Sports.
Really?
Yep.
I believe it.
Now, they haven't had streaming forever, but that was the number one streamed football, pro or college, ever in the history of Fox Sports.
I'd like to know how many people tuned in at halftime when they saw that it was still, when Texas was ahead at halftime, if I'm not mistaken.
Great football. No, I think it was tied 10-10. Kid missed a field goal right before half, too. There you go. There's your ball game. Blame it on the kicker. But he did make one when it counted.
But I mean, I guarantee you, like, people probably didn't watch much of the first quarter because they thought it was just going to be a Bama runaway, and then they looked at halftime like, what the fuck is this?
I tell you what I got out of halftime. I got out of the first half was, if Quinn Ewers plays all the time, Arch Manning better go somewhere else.
Nah, it'll all work out.
Quinn Ewers looked like the real freaking deal.
He did,
and I don't know.
He had that future. You're gonna have another NFL quarterback in Leavenworth. It sounds like, but Quinn Ewers had a little bit of that Brett Favre in him.
Oh yeah.
But I tell you what, that's not a good look for Mr. Favre. Eesh.
No, and I haven't really followed much of it, but just a few things I've seen, like, oh my God, like I love Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Like the gunslinger he didn't care. Like, I mean, he couldn't read a defense for a crap. He just like, hey, there's Mark Chmura, there's Sterling Sharp, throw it. And
it's I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, you take this out and like he's never been accused of being a choir boy. Like even when he was in Green Bay, he partied hard. He goes to the Jets and you got the Jen Sturger text messages. He's sending his dong out and pill addiction. So I mean,
Yeah, that's the big thing. I just remember all the pill addictions. I forgot about the Jen Sturger text chats. I forgot about that. And yeah, I mean, he's never been the choir boy, but he
was fun to watch. He was fun to watch, but now I don't know, this one in the era that we're in. I mean, even you take out the era, like they were misappropriating funds from a welfare program in Mississippi to build a volleyball court. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, listen, man, we appreciate you coming on here. This has been a fun pick'em, and I'm rooting for you. Hopefully, we finally send out $100 in swag.
Well, I hope so. I mean, it's not my money I'm playing
That's
with.
Right. You're on the house money.
And hopefully, everyone in the podcast group gets a little something out of it. So we'll see.
Well, hey, we appreciate you, and we appreciate what you do in serving our country. God bless you and your family. And if you ever get to Texas, we'd love to have you see you come down, Jason.
All right. Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Jason Hart, good guy.
Jason Hart. That was fun.
Yes, it is. Very good time.
I don't feel good about any of those picks, though. This was a tough week.
It's going to be some hard games from tonight on.
I hope they're good games is all.
Yep.
Just give me good games.
The Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game was a good game, but it was horrible at the end. It's like nobody wanted to win.
I can't handle watching games like that.
You know who should get the keys to the city of Pittsburgh? The defensive back that blocked that fucking extra point.
Yeah.
What?
I don't like watching sloppy football. Like the game between Buffalo and Kansas City where it's back to back to back to back and everybody's just clicking on all cylinders. Or I guess the offense is clicking on all cylinders.
When defense is playing good, there's sloppy football. That's
that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Defense is playing good at sloppy ball.
Yeah.
But those shootouts are a lot of fun.
Pittsburgh's a defensive team, and they have been forever. Mike Tomlin is a very underrated coach. He's never won the big one, I don't think. Has he won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, he won it with no, Cowher won it. He won it once, I know.
He did win the Super Bowl one time, but always has a team that's competitive.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And gets the most out of their talent. Could you imagine if they could get lucky one of these teams and get a quarterback since Roethlisberger? Because Roethlisberger ain't been good for 3 years.
Yep.
But in the last 4 or 5 years, they've had no quarterback at all. And they've still been competitive. Who?
They've had Roethlisberger 3 years ago. I think he was pretty good.
I think that was the year he was hurt. Anyways, but since then, but before Roethlisberger got hurt, they had a top-notch quarterback. They haven't had one in a long time. I don't think Mitch Trubisky is a top-notch quarterback, but he's a serviceable. He's better than Cooper Rush is.
Oh, 100%.
And, that's the difference between, Buffalo, Trubisky was the backup last year. I can't believe Jerry Jones went into football season without a legit backup quarterback that can play. Cooper Rush, they thought so much of him, they cut him and waived him because they knew nobody would pick him up, and they put him on their practice squad.
I'm trying to find his.
Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, they cut both of their extra quarterbacks and waived them both.
So it would have been 2018.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
He only played 2 games in 2019, and then he was pretty well
done after that.
Yeah,
but that's how long it's been.
Well, I can't find
he's not been good since 2018.
I can't see what the columns are.
But that's how much thought and process the Cowboys put into having a backup quarterback, is they waived both quarterbacks when training camp, knowing damn well nobody was going to pick them up.
No, 2 years ago he threw for 3,800 yards. Now 2018 he threw for 5,000. So
that was his last year. He was good,
but he threw for 34 touchdowns that year and 16 interceptions, and then 2 years ago 33 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. So, but he threw for
how many yards?
38.
So he averaged just barely over 200 yards a game.
253.
Yeah, that's not very good in today's football. Because he probably had a couple of 400-yard games.
Probably.
But you look at, but that's back to the Cowboys. That's how bad it is. David Blau, if you watched Hard Knocks in Detroit, was cut by Detroit, and he was picked up by Minnesota automatically. They were going to put him on stash him on their practice squad. But Minnesota signed him to their active roster. Dallas done that with 2 guys, and nobody wanted him. And now that's the guy who's starting. Do you remember a couple years ago when it was Ben DiNucci, it was Cooper Rush, it was brung Terry Bradshaw out of retirement for a game or whatever it was. They did everything. That's what Dallas is facing right now. If Dak misses a couple of games,
he'll be all right. 3 weeks, he'll be back.
You think he'll be back in 3 weeks?
3 weeks. 3 weeks. Well, Jerry Jones said so.
With their offensive line, I don't know.
3 weeks.
All right. Thank y'all for listening to us. God bless y'all and have a great week or weekend. Bye.
That's right. Go look at our sponsors. Go check out Bangtail Whiskey. Check out Alpha Outdoors Specialties, Looking Glass Podcast, Lucky Duck, Shin Gear Waders, Gundog Outdoors, Pacific Calls, Dive Bomb Industries, Boss Shot Shells, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Ducks Unlimited, Dirty Duck Coffee, and Double T British Kennels.